If you're a business owner that's been running ads and they just haven't been converting, no matter what you threw at the dartboard, it just didn't stick, this video right here is for you, because I'll be going over how this ad funnel will make you rich, coaching edition. So if you're a coach, mentor, consultant, this video is primarily for you. Now, without further ado, I'm gonna just dive straight into it. So first things first is, this is probably your current funnel right now. You have the static ads or the video ads running, and you're probably leading your audience to an opt-in page or a VSL page or a webinar sign-up page, and then you're getting them to book in a call for your high-ticket services. And then when you get to that closing call, guess what happens? They just don't close. Now, why don't they close? You might be asking. Well, essentially, you're just really doing a lot of things wrong, and that's really what I'm going to be going over in this video. And the reason it's not actually working for you, it's not because your ads are crap. It's also not because your funnel needs changing, and it's not because you're not spending enough on ads. I had a lot of people ask me this exact question, like, Matas, how much do I need to spend to see an ROI of my ads? To answer that question briefly, recommended budget is about $3,000 a month, which is about $100 a day. Anything less than that, you can still make an ROI. We have plenty of clients who have done over 5 to 10x ROIs, or ROAS, return on ad spend, just spending $1,000 in a month. So that is definitely something you can do yourself. And it's not your funnel either. There's a lot of variables that go into actually converting somebody, and the chances that your funnel is the problem is very unlikely, especially if the funnel that I'll be breaking down in this video, if you stay tuned to the end, I'm going to break down the funnel that's actually working, that's actually going to make you rich. So if you stick around to the end, you can literally copy exactly the funnel that we use. However, it's most likely not going to be a funnel, and it's not because your ads are crap. Honestly, you will see if your ads are crap, because if you're spending a bunch of money, you're not even gathering any leads, then you know your ads are crap. But if you're gathering a bunch of leads, they're just not converting, then it's very unlikely that it's actually your ads. But really, the main denominator is because you don't have authority positioning. Now, authority farming is something I guess I kind of came up with on a call to a client. But essentially, in order for someone to buy from you, they need to know, they need to like you, and they need to trust you. Okay, and there's also the 7-11-4 rule, meaning they probably need to watch 7 hours of your content across 11 different touch points on 4 different platforms. But what all of those things do is they play into one particular thing, and that is positioning you as the authority. Because when people come from ads, what ends up happening is, let's say this is the ad right here. What ends up happening is they just go from ad to your VSL or opt-in page or whatever it is. I'm just put a P for page, and then they just go to sales call, right? They just go to sales call, to speaking to you or your closer right away. Now, what is actually the issue with that? Well, essentially, this person doesn't actually get warmed up in the process. And the reason they're not converting is because there is no authority positioning, or there is no foundation of authority in the first place. A lot of people speak about credibility, and when I speak about when I hear credibility, I think of case studies, testimonials, having a bunch of screenshots from people inside of the community. But that is not what's actually going to grant you the sale. Matter of fact, a lot of people won't even ask for that if they're already sold on who you are as a person. Now, one thing to note down from this video is that you are your biggest case study. And I've been acquiring clients. I don't remember the last time I even showcased any of my case studies to any of the people I took sales calls with. Why? Because my YouTube videos are the case study, and I want the exact same thing to be for you. But now the thing is you don't need YouTube in order to have this authority positioning. What you want to do is you want to basically copy this exact funnel I'm going to be breaking down in this video, okay? But this is also what happens when coaches actually run ads, okay? The leads end up being not that serious. The closer spends the sales call explaining the business model and answering questions rather than actually closing the deal. So you're just wasting their time, and they probably end up leaving your team. And then they get many sales calls booked, but $0 made. Now, why does that happen? Again, it really just comes down to authority positioning and doing the right funnel that has just the right amount of friction in order to convert somebody into a paying client with yourself. So how does this actually work? Well, it starts with the Facebook ads strategy, okay? You want to be pushing 6 video ads and 6 static ads. If you don't know what these are, 6 video ads are basically 6 ads as videos, And then we have statics, which are basically pictures. I'm sure you've seen it on your feed before, where it's literally just a picture with some captions on it that then have a call to action. Basically, you want to run 6 videos and 6 of those kind of images or graphics, whatever you want to call them. They're technically called statics. And then what you will get after running them is you will get winning ads. You'll probably get around 2 to 3. Sometimes you'll just get 1. Sometimes you'll get more than that. But essentially, if you turn on Advantage Plus when it comes to Facebook, the algorithm would actually do its thing, and it's actually surprisingly very, very good at figuring out which ads are actually going to do the best. So if you turn on Advantage Plus when it comes to the Facebook ad campaign, and then they will select the winning ads, these are the ads you actually want to roll with. And as you know, when something works once, you want to try it again because it's going to work again, right? You want to double down on it. So that's exactly what we want to do. We want to double down on these outliers. So this is basically how it's essentially going to work. So this person will fill out an instant form. Okay, you can run these as instant form ads, literally just from the ads manager alone. And with this instant form, you want to collect their name, their email, their phone number, and a qualifying question, whether that is their budget, whether that is, are they working full time, whatever that qualifier is, whatever that main denominator on, depending on their answer, you're gonna have to disqualify them. You want to kind of put that in there as well. Okay, and once they fill out this form, they'll get redirected to a page which is basically a VSL or a free training page. If you don't know how any of these like pages work or what they are, I literally will put a video somewhere up in the top right of the screen where you can watch a video of me breaking down pretty much every single funnel that you can use as a coach in 2025/2026. So I recommend watching that video if you don't know what a VSL or a free training page actually is. Now, also another important thing to note is we want to add a bunch of strong urgency. And you might be asking, like, Matas, why do we need strong urgency? Well, essentially the reason we need a lot of strong urgency is because these people will fill out this form and then they just won't watch this. And what you have done is now you've just paid, what's it, $1 to $5 to $10 for this lead, and they're not even converting. They're not even turning into a client. You're basically just putting money down the drain. And the way we actually add strong urgency in here is basically by saying, like, watch this free training now before it disappears forever. And especially if you're in the right niche and you know your ICP very, very well. By the way, if you don't know that, I have a video that I can put up in the top right of the screen that also goes over how to actually identify your ideal client avatar and why that's so important to your business. However, once you know your ideal client avatar, ideal client profile, ICP, whatever you want to call it, therefore you can tie this messaging to add so much urgency to where these people feel like they need to watch this training now, because them losing out on watching this free training, it's going to really, really hurt, right? So we want to really add that there. And also one extra thing is when they fill out this instant form, you want to put this in the CRM where we literally just SMS them through the CRM as well, basically saying something along the lines of this. Hey, Mr. Prospect, I saw you signed up for the free training in regards to getting started with your own business model. Let me know if you got this message and I'll send the link to the free training video over to you on here so you don't lose it. Thanks, Matas. And that's something you want to roll with as well, only because a lot of these people will fill out the instant form. They'll go to the VSL page or the free training page, but the only problem is they probably won't, like they might just be at a restaurant or they might be at work and they won't be able to actually watch that VSL or that free training. So this is a way to bypass it as well, because they'll reply to it, you send it to them, and when they have a spare minute, you'll be able to simply just follow up with them and they'll reply to you via SMS as well. Now, also another thing to note down is you can run an email campaign. I've spoke about email campaigns so many times, and I recommend running anywhere from like a 5 to a 10-day email sequence that gets these people looped back from I guess filling out this instant form back into the VSL page or the free training page, just so they don't forget about it, so you're making the most of every single lead you get. And then after this VSL of free training, as soon as they watch that, you want to take them to a type form. In this type form, if you don't know what type form is, actually, it is a survey-based platform where these people can fill out a bunch of questions, and you can also have conditional rerouting. So if they answer a specific question and maybe they are just not of standard for your average lead that you think you can close, you can redirect them to maybe a lower ticket product or a page where it says, instead of booking a call with us, we'll reach out to you, to where you can kind of disqualify them and not have them fill up your calendar unnecessarily. And after answering all of these questions, we reroute them to Calendly. Calendly is a booking platform. It's really one of the most convenient ones, if I'm being completely honest. But if they are qualified, they can book a call via Calendly. And right after that, you pretty much have a lead right off the bat, okay? This funnel here alone, from the winning ads to the instant form to the free training to the type form, they are filling out 2 the different forms. One is, I guess, apply to work with us, and another one is apply for the free training. And the effectiveness behind these two different forms that they fill out is the fact that it really drives the commitment out of them. If they have filled out two forms, the chances that they have actually watched the free training is also very, very high. And the chances that they are actually committed, because no one's going to fill out two different forms for no reason, is also very, very high. Now, because they fill out this type form, that also indicates that they have actually watched this VSL or free training that we have posted on the, I guess, redirected page after they fill out the instant form, which is also a good sign, meaning that all of these leads that fill out this type form and don't book in for a call, we can follow up with. And all the people that have filled out this type form and have booked a call, we know that they are actually qualified. And all that it takes from there is just for us to triage them, which is the next step of the process. Now, you might be asking, what is triaging? Well, essentially a triaging is where a setter or an SDR is basically going to call up the prospect. He's going to conversate with the prospect, and then he'll qualify or disqualify. If they are qualified, he will just carry on, not necessarily booking them in on a sales call, excuse me for that, but they will basically just hype them up for the sales call, get them ready for the sales call. If they're unqualified, they will simply just cancel their meeting, and then they will just send over some sales assets for the person to kind of recycle themselves as a lead. By the way, if you want this dialer doc, literally just connect me with LinkedIn or on Instagram in the description. More than happy to actually send it over to you. It's going to be very, very great for your business, especially when you want to hire a setter and SDR. Probably save you hours. This is something we've tested. We've battle tested this over literally like the last couple months, if not years. If you need a dialer, you can reach out to me. I'm more than happy to send this dialer doc over to you as well, that you can just hand over to your SDRs. But essentially, right after that, you kind of have this person act as a gatekeeper, right? I'm going to put GK, not goalkeeper, gatekeeper. These people are going to be really just what makes sure whether this prospect is actually going to be qualified, whether they actually are going to have the finances, and whether they're actually going to be serious, right? QFS, qualified, finances, serious. If they are all of those, they proceed onto the sales call, and now the closer is getting the best quality calls possible, whereas all the other people just get sent sales assets and kind of get recycled down the line and followed up with about 90 days later. But when the sales call actually happens, as you can see my lovely drawing here of a closer with his small little bicep, the prospects are actually joining the call with a how, not an if mindset. The reason this is so important is because if someone is joining the sales call with an if mindset, they're more like, is this gonna work for me? What if it doesn't work out for me? Or can you explain the business model a little bit? Whereas if they're joining with a how, they've already battled the if, they've already overcame the if. It's more like, okay, not if this is gonna work. It's more like, how is this actually going to work for me? How can I make this work? How can I get started? And those are the people you want to be getting on the call, because they're coming with a game plan. They're not coming to just kind of inquire. They're coming with a really straightforward game plan, and they're not going to waste your time, especially if you're the one taking the calls or your closer. Also, the prospects are going to be financially qualified. The prospects are going to be more serious and respectful. And last but not least, closing just becomes 10 times easier. Guys, if you're running Facebook ads, you really want to spend your time actually disqualifying these people, because if you're booking 6 to about 15 calls a day, which is what we're doing for a lot of our clients, you don't want to fill up your calendar with a bunch of people who are not that serious. Instead, I would much rather have 4 to 6 sales calls a day of people that are actually qualified, financially qualified, and they're actually serious, right? So that basically brings me to the end of the video. It's super important that you run this ads funnel. It's going to make you a ton of cash, and I genuinely, wholeheartedly recommend that if you are running Facebook ads, you use and copy this exact funnel. If you have any other questions, you can reach out to me on Instagram or LinkedIn. Please connect me on there. Or if you actually want me to build these funnels out for you, if you're a coach, you're just running ads, you don't have the time to implement this, or you don't know how to implement this, I'm gonna leave a link in the description where you can book in for an audit call with me. I go over your business, see if there's any bottlenecks, and I'm more than happy to just kind of help you walk away from that call with an actual game plan of what you should do to actually further scale your coaching business. But other than that, I thank you for watching till the end. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.